All righty. Well, glad we're doing these things on Thursday. Gave you a few days. Let's just get right into it. What's up, Justin?
Yeah,
We've gone for it on 4th and 3. We'll just start at the end and then we'll work our way back. Ravens, Bills, scene of the crime. It's at 4th and 2 3/4. May as well be 4th and 3. Lamar's limping off. We got 3 timeouts. I guess you can take the timeout and come up with a play. Now that we lost the game, I know that's what we should have done in hindsight. Is that what you were
of
thinking at
course.
the time?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I leaned going for it. Our defense just couldn't stop anything, and they had no rest time in between those possessions. I think the lesser of the two evils was going for it. Even if you miss, they start closer, which actually might have ended up being a good thing because then they score quicker and there's still time on the clock.
Yeah.
It's just weird that Harbaugh's kind of went back on his methodology of being very aggressive in those situations. Like he's usually going for it. That's just been his thing. And for whatever reason, he had some faith in the defense, and it felt like if we gave the ball back at any point, they were going to score, and that's what happened.
Yeah, the first few years of the Lamar era, especially that Seattle game where his first MVP year, where he's mic'd up and he wants to go for it. Yeah, Harbaugh's like a contrarian guy almost. And then it's like once the conventional wisdom is to go for it, the past 3 years, the Ravens don't go for it on 4th down.
Right.
It's just, oh, Lord, what are you going to
Yeah,
do?
I mean, he's always we have a whole analytical team. He's kind of always went for whichever is the more analytically correct method, and it was the method to go for it this time.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, either way, like honestly, it shouldn't have come down to that. It just shouldn't have.
All right, well, let's go through it. How did we get there? Why can't the defense? It's really ridiculous. Ever since the Andy Dalton Week 17 massacre, before they had 18 weeks, right? Before the Lamar Jackson era, we just can't play pass defense in the fourth quarter, whether we're home, away. I don't want to go through every single game. Probably
Right.
better. Than me, though. Why? Why? Though? What is the reason? I mean, give me something.
Honestly, I don't even know that much about the X's and O's. It's just something to me. It's a mental block in our team right now. It's just they can't focus or their stamina runs out. I can't put my finger on it. I'm not in the locker room every week. It just seems like something always, not always, a lot of times happens. Yeah, like they run out of gas for whatever reason, or yeah, they just need
Is it enough?
a psychology teacher to teach them something because something is not right.
Is it enough for you to want to move on from Harbaugh? Like once you analyze everything and you digest it all and you look around the league and you look at other coaches and you think about the overall picture,
I
what
mean, I'm not going to base it off just that one game, but I will say a lot of people lately have soured on him. A lot of people are defending him. I was kind of in the middle. Like clearly he develops a great culture here. That's why we're always a top notch team. It's just yeah, it might be time for someone else to step in to get us over that last hump because clearly with him we just tend to have these moments in these games where we blow it when a lot of other teams would not, and they'd finish it off. But I mean, I'm obviously not saying fire him right now. I think we see how this season plays out. Um, and it really is Super Bowl or bust. I mean, with the talent on this team, it is what it is. Not that I honestly don't know if I see us firing him even if we don't make the Super Bowl, but I think a lot of people around the league and just fans in general will be saying the same thing.
Yeah, and I would say those people that have lost their minds. That's not how you said it in the beginning. It's about the culture. These individual plays and certain things that you might not like that he's doing. I mean, I hate blaming the coach when Derrick Henry fumbles and Zay
Yeah.
Flowers fumbles and you
No,
know
it's not all on him, but somehow it just always happens, and it's a different player each time. It's a different situation, I guess. But like, it's the league. Whoever
Yeah, I was
whoever gets
gonna.
the blame is either the quarterback or the head coach, and
I think
this
the
time it's
balls
the coach.
bounce. I think the balls bounce a little funny against us in
Yeah,
critical
definitely.
moments, right? I think
Yep.
that I think he can choke in certain moments too. I just don't know what type of coach, because he's already won. If he's never won, then I would agree with that. Maybe you want somebody that's already won that can get you over the hump. He's already won. I'm not going to buy into it. My takeaway after the game, probably because I didn't lose any money on it, if we're being completely honest. If I would have lost money on it, probably wouldn't be able to turn into a positive. But because I won't bet on Ravens regular season, I was able to be like, you know what? Maybe it's just not that big of a deal. Now Derrick Henry's got the, I feel really bad moment also for the Ravens, and they look so good. I want to focus on before we go to how good they looked, because they did look so good for most of the game. The one thing that I wanted to harp on in the secondary and why that they seem to struggle so much, and I couldn't tell. Maybe it'd be nice to watch the film over and over again and see each play. But do you look at it more like the pass rush wasn't there, or as the coverage wasn't there, combination of both? Because my take on it was the pass rush has to get there. It's so hard to guard these guys, no matter who they are. I know the Bills don't have what's considered elite receivers, but just the no pass rush whatsoever, and that was the most concerning thing. If there was something to come away from the game and be worried about, that's what I'd be worried about.
Yeah, and I mean I agree. It's obviously a combination of both, but this day and age in the league, it's just so hard for especially the defense, but especially the secondary, just to hang on for 2, 3, 4 seconds, just because you can't put your hands on them, you can't do really anything. You just got to keep them in front of you. So yeah, it starts with the pass rush, and like going into last year, I remember that was one of our question marks, a big question mark, and we just somehow manufactured 60 sacks, and we're like second in the league. And Van Noy and Oweg had 10 sacks. We had other guys getting their hands in there, and it didn't look very strong really at all. We had a couple of plays where we collapsed the pocket, but also Josh Allen's a very hard quarterback to control and contain, kind of like Lamar, really. But it just was not getting home, and he just had a little too much time back there. And I think the secondary is going to take a little time to gel, especially guys like Awuzie and Alexander. The plays Alexander, whenever they threw his way, it just did not seem to go well for us.
Didn't seem to go well. And what about Roquan getting stiff-armed in the middle of the field? Is that a sign of things to come? I mean, that to me was not great.
Yeah, I agree. I remember thinking about that play after, he looks slow. He's not where he needs to be. He went for the arm. He knows better than that, but maybe. I mean, it's one play, but it's a little concerning.
What about on the other side? Let's flip it to the positive, because they were the best team in football. It wasn't really even close. If they just closed out that game, everybody would have had the same take, because Flowers is just always open.
Yep.
And they did it dynamically on offense without Bateman didn't really touch the ball. Hopkins had the one catch with one hand, which was fantastic. I don't know.
Andrews wasn't even involved.
Did he have any catches? What did he have? One catch?
He might have one. Yeah.
So what was the thing? Is it because the offensive line is just so dominant, and Derrick Henry's so good, Lamar's so good, and we're just going to be unstoppable? Because that's what it felt like the entire game. It was unbelievable. We can talk about letting your foot off the gas the last couple of drives. But I'd rather talk for the next couple of minutes about how good they looked and what would even be the game plan. Why don't we talk the other way? Because the Bills don't have a great defense. So we'll fast forward to the Browns defense. The Browns defense obviously did a great job against Cincinnati last week. Record numbers would they hold Cincinnati 25 yards in the second half. Their pass rush.
I thought it was 7.
Yeah, something
like
ridiculous.
that. Yeah, I mean, but yeah. So back to our offense.
But how would you defend our offense? How's Cleveland going to try to defend it? What are other teams going to do? Because we look unstoppable.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't think you can stop us at least every possession, because the running game starts with the running game, which opens up the passing game, and I just don't think what I saw from Buffalo, they were stacking the box most plays, and we still were getting 8, 9, 10 yards a play. Whether it was Henry, Lamar design runs or scrambles, or when we dropped back to pass and offensive line did play well and gave Lamar time. Yeah, guys like Zay and other players just getting wide open, and that's the difference when Munkins has come in. he is able to design plays where, yeah, receiver's like 5 yards away from his next defender. However he draws it up, it's
It's a
pretty
combination.
incredible. And so it's just back and forth. Running game opens up the passing game. Passing game opens up the run game. Unless you have like Pro Bowl linebackers across the board, I don't know how you really can stop this running game. It's just we average like 8-9 yards a play, which is ridiculous.
The Cleveland defense is built. They actually have had some success against Lamar, some success, relatively speaking.
Out of all the teams, yeah, they've had some.
Did you watch enough of the Cleveland-Cincinnati? Do you have an opinion on how this game's going to play out this week? Do you think the Ravens just roll? Is it like a 34-14 type of victory, or are you sweating in the fourth quarter?
Well, that's kind of my mindset on it. It could go one of two ways: we blow them out, or if they hang around late enough, it could be close, and that's just what the Ravens do. It's either we kill a team when our average margin of victory is probably at least 10 or 15 points over the last few years, or if it's a close game, we tend to lose those. And I mean, maybe Flacco has some coming back to Baltimore magic. I don't know. Not necessarily going to make a prediction yet, but it's just those are the two outcomes I could see: a close game and a toss-up, or if we decide to not get conservative and not put our foot off the gas in the fourth quarter and we have a comfortable lead, hopefully we can just keep scoring and put the game out of reach.
I would be leaning towards this as a close game, not because we're going to play bad. I just think that Cleveland defense. Did you watch any of them against Cincinnati?
I did, yeah. And obviously they have one of the best defenders in the league, in Myles Garrett. Even though our offensive line is strong, he's a different animal. He could make plays. He's a difference maker. And they got good players back there, and they're familiar with us. They have had success against Lamar and Henry. I mean, so yeah, if they make enough stops on defense, Flacco finds some magic. He can sling it around the field still, and they got some good weapons. They got that new tight end. The new tight end, Fannin, I believe. He had a lot of hype.
If they would have called the ball,
he played really well.
Yeah, they dropped several passes.
Yeah, I mean, they have a similar case. They should have won their game too.
Yeah, I think when I look at this week for the Ravens, my take on it is they're not going to get the blowout just because Cleveland's defense is too good. I would lean under. I would lean ugly. Lots of penalties, lots of just tough, weird plays. And I think Cleveland's going to play very conservative, try to keep the game close. And the Ravens will probably win. I'm sure they'll win. I think they'll win. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close game in the fourth quarter. All right, let's spin it forward because I know we both want to watch this Packers-Washington game. Packers just took the lead 7-0. What was your take on that game, by the way, going into it?
I really didn't have a strong lean either side. I think both teams are solid. Still feeling them both out. I mean, I liked the Lions last week. Clearly that was wrong. So I don't know if I was wrong in Detroit, wrong on Green Bay, or it's only 1 week, and it's just hard to figure out sometimes. But my play was the under, actually. I thought it was a little high, and I like Green Bay's defense. So that was the side I went with. Like I said, I didn't have a strong opinion on the actual game. Where I think Green Bay was given about 3 or 3.5.
The hardest thing for week 2 is to decide how much you're counting week 1. So your picks went 2 and 3. Should have been 3 and 2 if the Ravens would have came through. The Lions did not come through. The Panthers, I don't know if you want to blame the rain delay or not, but
no, those two were just bad picks at the time. They were.
And then the other two were the ones that I gave you a hard time about. Those were the two relatively easy as far as the spread was concerned. The Jets.
They're both covering literally most of the game.
Yeah, the Jets and the Browns. So 2 and 3 out of the gate.
I will say for back just to those real quick. I sprinkled in a little money line on both the Jets and the Browns, which obviously both didn't go the right way, but I still think they were the right picks value-wise, especially. And then just to preface this week, I will say this is the classic overreaction to the previous week. situation, just because week one, no one really knows what's going to happen, and then we're at week two now. We're like, oh, we're already crowning certain teams that look good or writing off certain teams that look bad. But I will say, just don't get sucked in too much into that. It's been 1 week, and we still need a few weeks to figure everything out.
I totally agree. I don't want to overreact. There's a couple things I feel like, okay, confirmation bias probably, and
Yep.
other things where I'm like one thing, for example, and then we'll get to your picks. I will never bet on the Titans again. Their coach should be fired. That was a fireable offense. Not knowing what to do at the end of the first half of the timeouts is absurd. Not to mention, I don't want to make this a Titans podcast, but isn't that a fireable offense? Like, do you know
I
what
honestly did not see much of that game because I didn't
they
care
could have
to.
just
I watched the 1 o'clock games and then Lions Packers at 4. I didn't really watch the other 4 o'clock games.
they could have killed the clock at the end of the half, but instead just like had incompletion after incompletion, allowed Denver to score. They snuck in a field goal at the very end, but he didn't even know that the kick. Whatever. Never betting on the Titans again. If you need a reason to bet on the Titans, if you're betting on the Titans at your own health risk. No betting.
What spread did you have? Was it at?
I covered.
It hovered 7.5, 8.5.
It covered, but there's things you have to learn after a game, and you're like, I'm just never betting on the Titans. That was something. Something else. That was my main one. Never betting on the Titans. What did you think of the Steelers? Is that for real? Because I was pretty surprised.
Yeah, obviously when Rodgers had time back there, he looked like his old self, slinging it around. Obviously the surprise in that game overall was how many points were scored between both teams. Both defenses got torched. Steelers couldn't stop the run, and the Jets, when they couldn't get pressure on Rodgers, couldn't stop anything. Obviously, there was a big turning point in that game when the Jets fumbled the kickoff. It just sometimes seems to be what the Steelers do. They get a big turnover late in the game just to turn the tides, I guess. But yeah, their defense does not look good to me at all. And same thing for the Jets. I'm guessing that both defenses will be a little better this week, and that's not the sign of everything to come. But yeah, it was definitely. I think that was probably the lowest total last week. It ended up being one of the highest ending totals.
All the games went under except for 3, so it's the 3 out of the 16 that ended up, or really 4 because the Chiefs game went over, I believe, right? 48. Did that? No, that one did not.
Slightly did.
It did go over, right? Okay, so 4 out of 16. But after it started off with on Sunday, none of them went over except the Jets, and then the Ravens Sunday night, and then the Vikings went over Monday. Fade the Bears until. Fade the Bears. I had the Vikings there. The way the Bears lost that game, the coach is arrogant, blamed it on the kicker, kicked the ball out of bounds. That's another fireable offense. I know he just got hired. He can't be fired. The Titans coach could be fired. The Bears coach not going to get fired, but this arrogance is unbelievable. Like, the rules changed. Like, if you don't know the rules,
that's on you.
Yeah, someone's got to get paid to know the rules to fucking sit there and be like, I play Madden, I know the rules. Like, that's not – that's 5 yards. That's not up for debate. If you didn't see it, all the Bears had to do was kick the ball out of bounds. Doesn't guarantee that they have a chance to win, but it guarantees that they have a chance if they get the 3 and out. They ultimately did get the 3 and out, albeit the Vikings weren't really trying to get a first down because the game was already won because the Bears didn't know what they were doing by wasting that opportunity not to use the 2-minute warning. So just poor clock management, plus Caleb Williams can't make layups. That's not a great sign.
Yeah, but let me get back to the Ravens real quick, just because you mentioned clock management, and it wasn't even the fourth quarter that everyone's talking about. It's the end of the first half. How do we let up a field goal so easily was beyond me. We're up 20-10 with 25 seconds left. Defense goes to prevent mode, and we give up 2 big plays to get them into field goal range. It's unacceptable. You can't do these things. You can't give up these free points, because look what ended up coming to cost us. We lose by 2. You can't do that stuff, and that's on the coaching again. I'm not going to blame everything on the coaching, but defensively and the head coach, you both need to know these things, and you can't let that happen.
All right, so who's the leader on the defense? It's Roquan.
Roquan or Hamilton?
See, that's the problem. It needs to be Hamilton after the game. Right now, it's Roquan and Marlon Humphrey. because seniority matters. But now that they paid Kyle Hamilton and that Kyle Hamilton's a much better player, there's a little division, a little, I would just say a different philosophy on things, meaning Roquan's not in tip-top shape. Marlon's a big jokester. He said, what did he say after the game? Something that where Hamilton like disagreed with him. It wasn't like the biggest deal in the world, just said it was a different perspective. And I look at the Ravens, and the problem is they don't have a leader on defense. The leader on offense is Lamar. He leads in a different way, but he's grown into being the leader. Derrick Henry makes it easier. But on the defense, the leader is supposed to be Roquan. As soon as he got here, now I just want to go back to the Ravens. As soon as he got here, it was the Saints. I think it was the Saints Monday night game. One of the first couple of games, he was just flying all over the place. The defense was much better. If you read a lot of the articles coming out of Chicago, it was like, yeah, we didn't want to pay him because we saw some signs. And we weren't playing great run defense with him. And here we are. So maybe part of the reason they can't win in the second half, maybe part of the reason why they know how to close out those last 5 seconds is Hamilton just needs to be a little bit more empowered back there. And anyway, all right, let's do this one.
Yeah, they'll hopefully figure it out. I mean, the defense last year took time to figure stuff out. I mean, offense was ready, defense was not. That's kind of what it was.
Exactly. So, all right, let's do it. Give me your 5 games for the week. Floor is yours. And and then let's roll.
All right, yeah. Start with 2 teams that won last week. I'm going to fade the Bengals as a favorite. I feel like they're not the type of team that does well being a favorite. Just like last week, they obviously were not impressive on offense or defense. They got super outplayed by the Browns. And Jaguars are a little sneaky. So I'm going to gladly take 3.5 points there in the Battle of the Cats. Then we're going to I'm going to take the Cowboys over the Giants. Going into the year and still week 1 confirmed it for me. I think the Giants might be the worst team in the league. And Dallas impressed me a lot with their close showing against Philly. Dallas home opener. I think Dallas rolls a little bit here. And they're going to be calling for Russell Wilson's head and getting Jackson Dart in there in no time. So I'll take Dallas minus 5.5. Next, I like the divisional dog Jets home against the Bills, getting 6.5. Jets offensively impressed me a lot. And if they can even do half as well running the ball that we did last week, with a similar type of quarterback, similar offense with Fields and Hall, I think they'll have success running the ball and keep that close. Anytime you get 6.5 in a divisional game, especially at home, I'm usually looking towards that. So I'll take the Jets there. And then I know I ate crow last week on this one, taking the Panthers, but I do not believe in the Cardinals. I think they're getting hype a little too much. I think they're an average team, maybe. So I'll gladly take it's around 6.5, 7.5, somewhere in there. I'll have to check the exact lines, but I'll take the Panthers getting the points there. And then my 5th one is Texans. It's a small spread there. So if you remember last week, I don't like taking teams with the spread when it's 1 to whatever points I defer to the money line. So I'll take Texans money line, whatever the best option is out there, maybe minus 140, 145, 150. I like the Texans defense a lot. I think their home opener, Stroud and the offense tend to play a lot better at home. And the Bucs squeaked out a close, kind of lucky win last week when the Falcons missed a field goal. It would have went to overtime, so it would have been a toss-up. But I'll take the Texans winning that game.
Perfect. All right, recap them again for me.
Yep. So we got Jaguars plus 3.5, Cowboys minus 5.5, Jets plus 6.5, Panthers. I see 7.5 now, but it was 6.5 earlier. And then Texans money line. So a few dogs, Cowboys and Texans.
I'm still going to believe in the Giants. I know that's probably not a popular opinion this week. We'll see. I think it'll be a much different defense. That Washington defense is good. They're better against the pass. Russell
Yeah.
Wilson, we'll see at the end of the week, but it wouldn't shock me if the Giants win that game. But all right, those are your 5 picks. Any other thoughts, Ravens, or anything else before we go?
Not really. I just spread wise, our game it is large, but that just shows you. I mean, Vegas for the past several years has just liked us just because we can and should be a juggernaut, at least offensively. And so, I mean, even though the Browns have a solid defense, I could see us scoring 31, 35 points easily. It's just who we are. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about that.
All right, appreciate
Any
you.
last thoughts from you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I have a bad feeling it's like a 17-13 game in the fourth quarter, and then
I personally would be surprised. You mentioned the under. I actually would like the over. If I had to pick a side there.
I just thought that Cleveland defense was so good last week. I'm really high on Cincinnati. We disagree probably on all the picks, just gut feeling, which is probably a good sign for you at this point. But I
Yeah,
love the Cardinals.
full
You
disclosure,
did
in our book, I did tie for the weekly win. It just didn't. I happened to not mention a lot of those picks.
I was gonna give you credit. I was gonna give you credit at the end of it because you did. You did have the most points out of all of us.
Yeah, and my picks went 11-5, so it just happened to say three of the losses on the 5 picks I said here.
I am surprised that you like the Texans though, because it just feels like I know it's the home opener, but man, that offense looks dead. I know the
It's
Rams.
it. So I'm big on the Rams this year, so
Yeah.
wasn't too surprised. I guess I picked the Rams. But yeah, I like the Texans defense. I think they'll make Baker struggle a little bit and work for it. And as long as they can put up enough points, I do think they win the game.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, I hope it's a good Ravens game. You going to the game?
No, not this one. I'm going to the Lions Monday night game the next week.
Nice. All right. I'll talk to you soon, but I'm sure, or I'll talk to you. I'll definitely see you next week, but I'm sure I'll talk to you in the next couple of days, unless something dramatically terrible happens on Sunday, and then I'll just wait until Thursday to talk to you.
Yeah, it's if that happens, I don't know. You might not see me anymore.
All right, have a good rest of the night. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and yeah.
Yep. Have a good rest of your night. Enjoy the games tonight. Yeah, see what happens Sunday.
All right, see you, buddy.
All right, bye.